What is going on? I got my phone's blowing up, all these notifications. TLD's on YouTube, TLD's on Facebook, TLD's on Twitch. So welcome, everybody. If you're just finding us by mistake, we're Thin Line Defense. You got Jason here. I'm Cody. If you came to see Walsh, unfortunately, he's not going to be with us tonight. But you can come again another day or watch some of the videos and you can see him. We'll all miss him. Joe should be joining us shortly. He's running a little late tonight. Again, if you're finding us by accident, welcome. Consider subscribing to this channel and subscribing to Thin Line Defense, our regular channel. On this channel, we do kind of a live chat where we talk about our videos from the previous week, and then we also kind of shoot off the rail at the end and talk about whatever comes up. And but mainly why we're here is to interact with our Thin Line Defense family out there and friends, and that's why we come every week. The main channel, hey, what's going on, Harry? The main channel, we do anything from reviewing firearms, gear. Jason's getting into some outdoor stuff, which we're all looking forward to. But welcome to TLD. Jason, you want to start us off and talk about your Stealthgear USA video?
Yeah, so we had I did that 1441 gear holster review, and there was a commenter that talked about Stealthgear USA. So as I talked about, like, I'm brand new from getting the Stealthgear. That was my first experience with Appendix carrying. Still not used to it, but the one thing that I shared a lot about in the video, and I hope I conveyed it enough, was I was surprised at how comfortable it was. I didn't think it was, and honestly, the first day or two, it really wasn't very comfortable. But kind of breaking it in and getting used to it, it actually got to the point where it was comfortable to wear. So what I did is,
oh wow,
hey Ali, welcome. One of the things that I tried doing is I didn't want to just unbox it and review it right from the get-go. I kind of wanted to put it through its paces. So sure. I told the guys at Stealthgear who sent us that, by the way, really huge shout out to them. I told them, hey, I want to use this for like a month or 2 months and just kind of run it through its paces and see how I like it. And then I did the review. And so it wasn't that I hated it. It definitely wasn't that. It just is definitely not something I'm used to. You have years and years and years of that muscle memory for me, drawing from the hip. So drawing from an appendix was definitely new for me. Cody, I know Cody has experience drawing from appendix. He's been doing it basically the time that I've been drawing from the hip. Cody's been drawing from appendix. So I know he could speak on that more intelligently than I could, but it's something that I can see the perks to it, and I really want to give it, more chances, and maybe Stealthgear isn't the one for me, and try out other appendix holsters and see how they go. But I was surprised at how well it went for me for being my first time with an appendix.
Yeah, like you mentioned, my Stealthgear holster is like my favorite pair of jeans, right? So I've been I was telling you before we came into the chat that I've been wearing it for 10, 12 years maybe. And it's really conformed to my holster, and it sits really well in my pants. But I don't know if, of a lot of our viewers have experience. I'm sure they went to the website after they watched your video. But, this backing on here is super soft and comfortable. And even with my tactical girth, you can kind of see that's kind of pushed this over onto my firearm and formed it that way. But yeah, it's super comfortable, and I've never had any issues with this holster whatsoever. I've never had any of the hardware fall out or anything like that. As a matter of fact, when I was active duty, we were at AFRICOM, bringing my boss in to do a briefing, and I had a Raven concealment holster on, outside the waistband. And I went to sit in this little stadium style chair, and it hung up on my arm, and all the hardware on it went flying in this room, and everybody was looking at me while I'm trying to gather up my my gun and my holster that's all over the place. But yeah, Stealthgear has been my go-to for years.
So that's kind of interesting. I haven't had that. I actually have a Raven concealment, and it's my favorite outside the waistband holster. It was my favorite before we got that 1441 gear holster.
Yeah.
But I was doing, I was in some training down in Gainesville, Florida, close to Harry's neck of the woods, and I had a alien gear inside the waistband holster. And I remember coming back to my hotel room after the day of training. I take it off and I throw it on the bed, and there's hardware missing. Like, I don't know when it fell out. You know, it's not like I could run to Home Depot and pick up new hardware for that.
Right.
So I had to go down to a gun store, and I bought a Blade Tech holster, just something to hold me over. And I had nothing but issues with that one. But at least it was something that I could see on the outside and do tighten up the screws when they came loose and things like that.
So you mentioned sidecar. Are you talking about with the magazine off the side of it, Misfit? Is that what you mentioned? Where it's got the pretty much a magazine holster.
Makes sense.
Pants off the side.
I've seen John Lovell. I think his is a tier 1 wall shed. It's a tier 1 holster where it has a gun on the strong side and a magazine on his weak side, support side. So,
and this is just me from not liking a lot of weight on my pants. I don't carry an extra mag with me. If you know, okay, yeah, I don't carry an extra mag because my thing is I'm not staying there for long. I'm getting off the X. That's just the way I've been trained with, you know, what I was doing in the military. So I'm not going to stick around. That holds 12 rounds. If I can't get what I need accomplished in 12 rounds, then, you know, and it's also meant for me. Right. It's also meant for me to get to something bigger. So that's why I'm leaving. I'm not going to hang around and see what happens.
Very Harry says it's not T-Rex or Trex. Thinking T-Rex. Does T-Rex make a sidecar holster?
I'm sure they do. Everybody's doing that. I think even Stealthgear does that.
Okay.
But I've had that for so long. It's probably pre
sidecars.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's just my preference. I don't.
Now we're gonna have here.
Uh-oh. Yeah. What's up, Joe?
Welcome, Joe.
On, Cody? Thanks, Jason.
So we were just chit-chatting.
We're talking about my Stealthgear holster.
Ooh.
Sorry, Cody.
So you were around when I think I first got the Stealthgear holster when I got my SIG 320. So you know I've had it for a while, and I've been doing the Appendix thing for a long time. I mean, but Jason was saying in his video that, you know, maybe it wasn't quite comfortable for him, or maybe that particular holster isn't comfortable for him. But like I mentioned earlier, it's like my favorite pair of jeans, or, you know, your favorite pair of boxers, because it's a little more intimate than jeans, I guess.
Well, and maybe that's just, you know, maybe I need to carry it for 10 years and it will be my favorite pair of jeans. Just as is right now. Something I just haven't. Appendix as a whole, you're talking about, you know, here I am 2 months into it. You got 10 years on me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I've had. Joe?
No, he's still there. Okay.
No, I'm still here.
But oh, there you go. I've had, like, I have a crossbreed holster, you know, inside the waistband. You know, you put it on your, which would be my 7 o'clock. I'm left-handed. I have one of those. I have an alien gear inside the waistband, and I feel like those just pull my pants down for some reason. Like on the backside of my, you know, my body, I guess.
Yeah.
It just feels like there's way too much weight back there. But having an appendix carry, even when I'm sitting down, I've always been super comfortable. And maybe it's because I carry a subcompact.
Yeah. So Harry says T-Rex. Sorry, Cody. T-Rex does have a sidecar.
Okay. Yeah.
So Misfit says John uses tier 1. John Lovell with Warrior Post side uses tier 1. Misfit's been using a Black Arc and McKinney holster sidecars. They have both been good for me. I've heard good things about.
Yep.
Still
It's
there,
not
Jason?
just me this time.
We may have lost
No.
Jason.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't think
He's
I've
the
ever-
host. There he is.
he's going
Lost
in
you,
and
Chris.
out. Oh, there you go again. It's hard with holster because everybody body different. Everybody carrying different guns. You have different needs for your holsters. Whether you sit up most of the time, you walk around most of the time. In a car, like I love outside the waistband, just holster right on my side, like I'm wearing right now, right? I love the holsters until I sit in my car that has bolstered seats. Then I absolutely despise them because I can't, unless I want my gun digging into the bolster of my seat, which is going to cause a hole in the side of my seat. I have to take my gun out and put it in the center console or whatever I'm going to do with it. So it's all in what you want it for. And unfortunately, all three of us can give our favorite holster, right? And we could say, this is the best holster that I've ever used in my life. And until somebody tries it, they have no idea if it's going to work for them. That's just the unfortunate part of it. Like I have a holster around here somewhere that I have to send to Jason. It was a leather holster for 1911, and it just doesn't work for me. It's too tight for my gun. I put my 1911 in it maybe 15, 20 times, and it started wearing the bluing off of the sharp edges on the end of my slide. And I'm like, nope. It could be the best holster in the world. I'll never know because I ain't going to use it with my 1911, you know?
Yeah, I mean that brings up a good point because I have the same identical holster that I carried my duty pistol, my M11 with, and when I would fly armed or sitting in a car for a long time, that thing would dig into my thigh. And I don't have that issue with the 320 subcompact, but that same holster, bigger gun, was super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
And
the size of your pistol and the way you carry it, makes a big difference.
yeah. And like I said, my favorite carry option for everything, kind of a catch-all for everything, is small on my back. But then again, if I'm, out doing something physical or whatever, not the best position to carry in, you can fall and really mess up your spine. So
Yeah. Or if you do backflips at the dance club.
yeah, it could fall out and then you could accidentally pick up your gun and shoot somebody. That'd be crazy. Actually, it's funny that you said that. So luckily I was in my backyard and I was carrying, somebody even asked for an update. I was carrying that little minimalist holster,
Yeah.
on my Hellcat, and I just had it clipped into my lower back. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's just a little piece of printed plastic that goes around the trigger guard, and it has a little clip that goes around your belt. I mean, it's very minimalistic, and I love it because it's really easy to conceal. Makes me a little worried every time that I go to put my gun in that holster, but I was playing badminton in my backyard, and I dove for. I get pretty serious. I dove for the, what do they call it? Birdie. I dove for the birdie, and that gun popped out on the ground. So I just put it in my house. No big deal. But retention, another big thing.
Yeah. I mean, holsters are like purses, right? So, like you said, we all have different tastes, but it's a necessary tool. But you just gotta, maybe sometimes you gotta invest a little bit of money and to find the right thing. But that's hopefully what we're helping out with here on TLD, is kind of introducing you guys to some of our favorite things and telling you what we like and what we don't like.
Yeah. So this one, Cody, have you tried this? This is the. I don't know why that's popping up.
Jason's over there.
Jason going crazy.
He's having a day.
Yeah, he is. So this is the alien gear, but it's the one with the leather back. Have you tried this holster at all?
I think I have an old Alien Gear one, and I don't think it has.
So this is outside the waistband, the front kydex, the back's leather, and I really like it because it's super comfortable.
Yeah.
But because the leather gives so much to the firearm, like the firearm slides in and the leather just completely gives, the retention isn't that great in this.
And that's
really comfortable.
That's the same with this holster. It's got a little bit of retention here, but I mean, like you said, it gives so much in the back that. but I mean, inside my pants,
Yeah.
it's pretty tight.
Yeah, your belt and pants will keep that together. This is outside the waistband. Not the best design, but definitely comfortable.
Yeah. So Misfit asked about appendix carry being comfortable when I'm driving. So again, this one, the way, I wear bigger pants, so I get them at least a size bigger than normal. And so when I sit down, I kind of hike my pants up, and I have the gun. I know this sounds bad, but I have it kind of sitting right in my thigh. And if I'm driving for a long distance, a couple of hours or something, I'll just pop that holster right out and put it on the side somewhere, probably in my door. But just for inside of town or driving, to and from, it doesn't give me any issues. Or maybe just that point in my leg where it sits is probably the nerves are dead. I don't know from wearing it for years, but yeah, I don't have any issues with it.
Honestly, the most comfortable position I've found. Now, I've never appendix carried. I'm going to say that out
Yeah.
loud. But the most comfortable position I've found to carry in a car or while sitting down is small of the back. Inside the waistband, small of the back. But again, I do it messed up where I buy left-handed holsters to do that when I'm
Yeah.
right-handed, so then I can do a palm out draw.
Yeah.
But it's not the right way. If you ask anybody, it's not the right way. I even called companies asking them, "Hey, do you have a palm out in small of your back holster?"
Yeah.
And every single company told me, "No, we don't make that. 'Cause that's not how you're supposed to draw." Oh well,
Yeah.
cool, man. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I mean, if I just think if you're in a tight area, so flying armed is a perfect scenario. I know most of our subscribers probably will never get the chance to do that, but we do that for our job. But in that tight confined area, having to pull or draw from your side in that tight area is not very conducive for taking out a bad guy in an airplane. But um, if it was in my appendix right here where I can, you're supposed to, normally they teach you have your head down on your hands or something like this. I can pull it out of my pants and do what I got to do, with it in the center of my body. Same thing in my car. Like if somebody's trying to carjack me or something like that, I got it right here where I can, I'm holding them in the car or something like that, and I can draw it.
Yeah.
So
And
that's just a preference of mine.
That brings up such a good point, Cody, because you walking through that means you've already thought about those steps, right?
Yeah.
Mine have always been I carry a minimalist wallet in my front left pocket,
Yeah.
but I carry my my credential and stuff in my back pocket. So if anybody were to try to rob me in my car or whatever, I've always thought, well, I'm just going to act like I'm giving them my wallet.
Sure.
And then give them the barrel of a gun instead. And
Yeah.
being right-handed, I'm a little bit further away from them than you. But if you're left-handed, you're not going to be able to then have to lean back and shoot like this. So that's another great thing to bring up. Like if you're right or left-handed and you're riding in a car all the time, you need to think this through. Like the appendix carry might be the best carry for you, or you might want to buy a right-handed holster just for riding in the car, or mount the gun somewhere in the car, put a holster mounted somewhere in the car, because being left-handed, you're right there by the window.
I mean, you obviously want to follow all your concealed carry laws or whatever your state's laws are for having a weapon in your car. It's different everywhere, so I would definitely do your research. But like you were saying, with any holster, with anywhere you put your gun, you should practice. You put your gun up in the ceiling in your bathroom or something silly like that. Practice getting to it when you need to. Practice getting to a bigger weapon, or a rifle, whatever you got to do in your house. You should always involve the older, adult people in your house, not so much your kids. But I know you guys went to school around the same time I did, and my firearms instructor had signs and countersigns for his kids in the house. So if he heard something go bump in the night, he'd call out his signs and expect a countersign. So
Yeah.
that's something I plan to have with my kids.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, right? But that's what prevents you from shooting your own kid.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yep.
I just
Yeah,
had a scare the other day. Sorry, Joe.
Hey,
No,
welcome back.
I would say, Cody, another good idea for you is the way that we used to do our exercises. There was sign, countersign, talking, knocking, whatever it may be. But then there went I forget what you called it, but it went the no joke, enemy are in the compound, and they would announce one thing over the speaker. And when that got announced, you hit the ground. Anybody left standing got shot.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do that in your house with your kids, that's what I would do. I would do that. Whatever that word is, hit the deck.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Or
or
get the
carry a
cover.
flashlight. Yeah, carry a flashlight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you call that out in your house and they don't get down and they're 6 foot instead of 3 foot, then yep.
Yeah, we had a cat the other night it was in the garage and knocked something big over in the garage, and Ashley got up and went and cleared the house, and I saw my phone light up and I didn't even hear anything. So I'm looking at my cameras and stuff and I see Ashley standing outside looking around. I'm like, what is going on? But yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point though. That's something that I haven't done in my family, and so my wife left to go pick up the kids, and I heard the garage door open. I heard the van start. Heard the garage door open. Heard the garage door close, and I go upstairs and I'm brushing my teeth, and I hear stomping. And there's like babies are asleep. There's no one in the house, and so I like turn off my toothbrush, listening again. I hear it again, and so then I'm thinking like, man, if someone's in my house, my dog should be barking. So I grab my gun and I start going down the stairs, and then I hear talking. I turn the landing and I see my dog just sleeping on the ground. I'm going, what a dumb dog. I come down, my wife's sitting there watching something on her phone. That was the noises. And so I have my holster in one hand, because I just grabbed it off my nightstand, holster in one hand, the gun's in the other. And she looks at me like, what the hell are you going to do?
Yeah.
And but same, like, when did you get back? She goes, I never left. I said, well, I heard the van start. I heard the garage door open and close. She's like, yeah, I checked my text and they said they're bringing the kids. So I didn't leave. So having a sign, countersign, I can't imagine her doing that. Marco.
Something as simple as
It
that.
better be Susan.
Yeah.
Or as a robber, I'm gonna be like Polo.
Right. Yeah.
But it's a great,
everybody,
great point.
Yeah, everybody's seen those old World War II movies where they were doing that. You're sitting in a foxhole and you hear something, twigs snap and they yell out lightning, thunder. And you're like, okay. So I don't know.
Smart.
Can't break it if it's not, can't fix it if it's not broken is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So we've already gone off the rails, so we'll try to reel it back in. No, but I thought your holster video was great. Like we've been saying throughout this whole thing, everybody's gonna have, their different styles or whatever is more comfortable with them. But hopefully through these videos, we kind of can show you guys some of the things we like and give you reasons why we like it, why we don't like it, and you can make those determinations on yourself. Kind of hopefully save you some time. But that's what we're trying to. That's our mission here at TLD.
Yep. So speaking of that, we had a viewer that asked in the Stealthgear video, asked about Tenacore. So I reached out to them and they actually sent me a holster. So this is another Appendix holster that I'm messing with. I like the adjustability of it. Honestly, I think this is more comfortable than the Stealthgear. I'm able to stand up and sit down with it, no problem. I've been wearing this all day. I've only had it for a couple days, so that's going to be the next one that I'm going to be running it for a couple months and then doing a video here probably in June.
So is that little wedge that I saw in there, is that built into the Kydex?
Yeah, it's built into the Kydex. And so the idea is this is the part that goes against the body, so it forces the magwell of the gun into your body and keeps the barrel a little bit farther away from your leg.
So I've seen people put like a on the back of the Kydex holsters, like some padding and stuff that had,
Yep.
you know, a similar effect.
Yeah, this is actual. This is part of the Kydex, man.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what kind of bulge that puts in your pants. But
yeah, and that's the thing that I would say right now. I feel like it prints more than the Stealthgear, but it's more comfortable than the Stealthgear, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're printing in that area, you're doing all right, dude. You're doing all right.
Yeah, Misfit says I made a wedge with the gel heel inserts.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
that's,
I didn't think about
that's
that.
pretty comfortable.
Yeah. I will say that the tall sweat guards, I don't really mind on a holster until you're wearing the holster without the gun in it. Then I don't care where those sweat guards are, they're digging into your body.
I mean, that's what I like about this one, right?
Stealthgear.
I mean, you can see where the girth kind of
that's not Kydex, and that would be more comfortable.
Yeah, but it's not often that I have that holster in my pants without the gun in it. So
true. I've noticed with a couple of my holster when I take the gun out, and like when I'm saying I'm driving in my car, right? So I take the gun out because it's on my hip, take the gun out and put it down. 3 minutes later, like I'm having to take off my belt while driving and take that holster off. It's just digging into me.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I like. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Cody.
I was just gonna say that's what I like about this. Has like a J hook, type of clamp on it, and I could just pop it right out of my pants.
Yeah. So that was the thing that I liked about the Stealthgear. I was using it as my holster for work, and so doing a 2.5 hour drive, that was the first thing I did. I go to sit down, I pop it off, and just put it in the passenger seat, and then every time I got out to use the bathroom or get gas, I just grabbed it, popped it right back on. It was a lot easier to get on and off than any other holster that you have.
So I got an interesting story about that. So we've all had the issue where you go to like a public bathroom and it's got the doors like 4 foot off the ground.
Yeah.
And you can see under it, right? So what do you do with your pistol? If it's outside the waistband, if it's just hanging there or whatever. So another nice thing about my setup or the Appendix carry is I unclip it, get in my position, and then I put it in my underwear, so it's kind of sitting there in a hammock. Nice little comfy hammock where nobody can see it.
That's right.
Yep.
Call that a banana hammock.
Yeah.
Hey, I like the paint job that you had on your gun in that video, Jason.
Oh
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Misfit says the tall sweat guards dig into the bottom of my ribs. Yeah.
I
think we all feel your pain there. Yeah.
Well,
So
Misfit, I'm sure I saw you. You're quite a bit skinnier than me. I don't have that issue.
Tactical girth provided some cushion. So that video, there was actually 2 guns. There was my duty gun, and then there was the one that Joe painted, my Polymer 80 Glock 19, which is probably still my favorite gun of all time.
Is it?
Yeah, I love that.
I have its brother or sister, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. So for those that don't know, when I first started getting into painting, Jason gave me 2 Polymer 80s with slides, and they weren't milled out or anything. He said, "Hey, just go nuts, do whatever you want." So on one, I did kind of a more conservative paint job. I did just white and distressed it. It looked really good.
Yeah.
And the other one, I did black, white, and
white, gray, digital
camo, and I wanted to go nuts with the digital camo, so I put it everywhere. It came out amazing. I absolutely loved it. Jason was like, not my favorite paint job, but thanks,
I think he did it on purpose.
Yeah, he was being nice about it. And then, about a year later, 2 years later, you still hadn't built it out?
Nope, still hadn't
built it. And I was like, man, are you ever going to build it out? And you're like, well, I like that other gun so much. He's still being nice about it. And I'm like, all right, well, let me buy that one off for you. Let me get it back. So I have that gun now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we had the barrel. Was it Grey Ghost barrel too, or was it the Aero barrel?
Grey Ghost.
The slide was.
Yeah, the slide was Grey Ghost.
I'm not sure which barrel you gave me. You might
don't remember.
have given me just a cheaper barrel. I think you gave me a cheaper threaded barrel.
Oh yeah, from Bear Creek Arsenal.
Yeah, I shot it just a couple times, but yeah.
So that's another nice thing about that Stealthgear is it's really hard. Most of the time when you find a holster for your Glock 19, the Polymer 80 Glock 19 won't fit. The trigger guard is a little different. The frame itself is a little wider. But with Stealthgear, didn't matter. My Glock 23, Glock 19, Polymer 80, Glock 19. I think I even have my Glock 26 in there, or Glock 27 in there for a couple of the frames. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about this particular holster is it's got the round trigger guard, but any of the bigger frames have the like kind of the more pointed trigger guard.
Yeah,
but I have other holsters for when it's in the big boy configuration.
Yeah, so still, again, Appendix, man, I'm not giving up on it. It's something I'm gonna keep training with. Oh, there it is.
There she be. Oh, as soon as that. I know the lighting sucks, but I still love that thing. I can't show the whole thing, but I can show you that half and this half.
It's not a gun, YouTube.
Right? It's not. Not a firearm.
Not a pew pew.
Watch. Imagine. Now it is.
Yeah. So I mean, we could beat a dead horse with the holster thing. I mean, we could talk about those all day. Like I said, they're purses for men. So, but we'll talk about Braden's video. Unfortunately, he's not here tonight. He's got some prior engagements. If you came here to see him, I apologize, ladies. But he's got plenty of videos on the YouTubes. You're yearning for his face. But I think Jason was going to speak on his behalf on the Brownells Match Precision Optic. It's a 1x8 by 24.
See if I could do this on purpose now.
Yeah, there you go. you practice.
So yeah, I know. So yeah, I mean, what I was thinking about doing, we could talk about the things that we saw in Walsh's video. So one of the things that I like that I know he pointed out is that the part of this that is illuminated is the dot in the middle. So I wonder if they have a reticle here. You guys see that? So that's the part that's illuminated. And so it was for someone that's used to red dots going to an LPVO that has an illuminated red dot right in the middle. It was a very easy transition for them. And then the channels were kind of cool too, that they had these channels built in that you could put it over something and kind of still see through the channels. Those are a couple of the points that I thought were really neat about this specific optic. And as a team, I know we had talked about at what point does second focal plane lose its edge on first focal plane, and we didn't really know what the high end of the magnification was. But I would say that this is a 1 to 8 power. I still think that I would prefer this in second focal plane.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think I know where Walsh is going with that whole decision, but I don't care what it zooms out to. I care what it zooms down to.
Yeah.
And if it's a 1 by anything, then I don't want to zoom in and out of the reticle, because when you go down to 1, no matter how bright it is, you can't see it in the daytime.
Right.
You can't see it in the daytime, and it's black. It's absolutely tiny. You can't see it illuminated, or I can't say that you can't see it non-illuminated. You can against lighter backgrounds, but even on a bright day at the gun range where the berm was casting a shadow down on the target, it was really hard to actually see that. Like, I had to really focus on it. I couldn't just use it as a reflex optic like it's supposed to. So I say if it goes down to 1 by, then I don't want to zoom in on the reticle.
Yeah. So you're saying second focal plane. If you have an LPVO goes down to 1, second focal plane is the way to go.
Yep, that's what I think.
Yeah.
And then if it's 3 or above, then I'll do first focal plane all day long.
Yeah.
because I don't want to do the math, especially on like my, what is it, 6 to 34 or whatever I have on the Athlon.
Right.
I don't want to do the math all the way in between 34.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Braden mentioned in the video, obviously all the bullet drop calculations in that reticle aren't going to make any sense unless it's maxed out at 8 power. But in between there, if you're down at the 1 power, and like we mentioned with the 1x6, you're just using that red dot like a red dot and not a LPVO. Then
and I would say
you're fine.
anything closer than 300 yards where you're not using the 8 power, the
Right.
bullet drop compensation is almost worthless.
Yeah.
Right.
You're talking
It's
about
almost
maybe an
worthless.
inch.
Yeah, an inch. I mean, you're still going to hit. If you're aiming center mass, you're going to hit what you want to hit.
Yeah.
Right.
So, especially on an 8x, anything after, I mean, I would crank it up to 8x at 100 yards.
Yeah.
That's just me. I routinely shoot with both eye open, so I don't lose my peripheral by doing that. And I can just identify my target better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I was with that 1x6. You know, I mentioned in that video that I would just leave it at 6 power.
Yeah.
And anything that was too close, I just put them in the tube and hopefully hit something squishy.
I kind of want them just to make one like that, a 1x8 like that, where it's instead of having to crank the wheel all the way around to 8, it's just like maybe even a switch or something. Like you just click it and it goes to 8, click it and it goes back to 1.
I wonder how they could do that electronically.
It's just or even a mechanical click. You know what I mean? Make the throw so short that it's just like whoop, 8, 1, 8, 1. I don't care about everything in between. I really don't.
Yeah. I mean,
I haven't even put that trigger on. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say basically what you're talking about doing is trying to do, Misfit says, like a cheap Alcan. So I'm thinking of how you can slam down a magnifier in front of a red dot. You want it to be that fast. But you're right. I mean, Walsh mentioned this in when he did the review of the 1x6 of, okay, so, you know, at this power, it's okay, but when are you ever going to use, you have a 1 to 8, when are you ever going to use a 3 or a 5?
Right.
You're either going to use a 1 or an 8.
Yeah. And because you're doing it like that, because that's how I would use it, right? Everything in between is worthless, so why do I want a first focal plane? I'm never going to use in between. And I want to have that big reticle at 1x. I want to be able to see the reticle at 1x. And I'm not going to use anything in between anyway. I mean, shoot, when I go out and shoot at 100 yards, I'm at 34 power on my Athlon. Like, why not? I have it. Why not be zoomed in all the way to see the actual dot even closer so I know what I'm shooting at? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't have to set up a spotting scope and know where you're at.
If I had 50 power on it, I'd zoom into it. If I could see a fly on a target at 100 yards, I'd be happy.
Yeah. And most of our OG friends out there that tune in every week, they know that we're not level 100 sniper guys, right? So just take what we're saying with a grain of salt. Basically, if you run a LPVO and you like the in-between ranges and that works for you, that's great. But this just in our little bit of experience,
humble opinion.
With these, I'm by no means a sniper or anything like that. So I just, if it works for me, I'm going to like it. If it doesn't and it frustrates me, I'm not going to use it. So, but that's why we're having this conversation.
I'll be honest. I have that 1x6 and I don't think I'm ever going to use it. I think I'm actually going to take it off my gun because I don't have a need for a 1x6 in first focal plane.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Brownells, the price it's a little pricier. We're talking about $800 for a 1 to 8 second focal plane scope. I know there was a couple other things I wanted to point out. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. The knurling kind of reminds me of the Crimson Trace optic. That it's a little bit more aggressive. And then I know Walsh had kind of joked about it in the video, but I think it's pretty cool that it comes with a throw lever already built into it. Misfit says, yeah, I've never seen someone use an LPVO on the in-between settings. Yeah,
Right.
agree. I think we're in the same boat there, Misfit. I'm sure there's people that do. I've just never seen it.
Right.
Yeah,
if you're at 50 yards, I'm going to use one. If you're at 100, I'm just going to crank it.
Right.
I'm sure there's some level 100 wizard out there that knows how to use it properly, and that works for them. But
so the part that I want to get into though is
I like the throw lever. It's tiny.
Yeah,
but that's been Walsh's thing on all the ones that he's tested. Right, he always brings up, I wish they would put a throw lever in the box.
Yeah, so that was one thing that I was a little confused about. I guess I was like, why does Joe hate throw levers so much?
I wouldn't say that I hate them. I would say that they get snagged on a lot of stuff.
That's also true.
Throw levers are great for going to the gun range and hunting in the open, fields or whatever. Sure. If you have full kit on and you're messing with a throw lever, you're going to hate it.
Yeah,
that's just my experience with them.
I could just imagine
all your molly stuff and everything. It gets if you're carrying your rifle slinged and you're on foot patrol, you're gonna end up probably hating it, unless you have it maxed all the way away from your body, whatever position that is, where it's away from your body all the time. Then you might be okay. But I wouldn't say I hate them. I just say that I can turn the ring without a throw lever.
And that might be, with that little nub on that one, that might be a benefit of it. I just like it as an indexing point, so I don't have to get over and look at it with my bifocals on, so I can see, is it at 8?
Yeah.
I can't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that. That's fair.
Indicator, yeah.
Also, with my scopes, like I said, I mean, I use 34 power at 100 yards. Mine are set to win position. Kind of set it and forget it.
Yeah.
I don't use that a lot. My 3x9s, like I have a single shot 223. I love that thing, and it's only a little baby Simmons, I think, 3x9. And where we would go shooting, everything we were shooting at went past 100 yards. It never came off the 9 setting. I never used it.
Yeah. There was no need.
Right.
So that was just digging in a little bit, Joe. I thought it was funny that Walsh had pointed out in the video, like, Joe's going to hate me, but I'm so happy that they threw a throw lever on here. Yeah. And I'm kind of the same way. I can imagine you in a fight and you have to transition, you drop that gun and that throw lever gets caught on something. It doesn't clear your sidearm. You're going to have some issues trying to draw your sidearm.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that.
If you have your gun slung in the front of you, you don't want a whole bunch of stuff hanging off of it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just like giving Walsh crap because he can't buy something and not buy something for it. He's like the Ricer of the group. He can't he can't not put neon lights and 3 spoilers on it. He can't do it.
We got to give him some credit though, because now every time he talks about all the Gucci stuff, that used to be him, and he's a lot better about that stuff now. I'm really proud of him.
Yeah,
he used to be the one like, I need this $1,900 flashlight on the end of my gun, and now he's a lot more practical with that stuff.
He is. I mean, he'll still buy a muzzle brake before ever shooting the gun, but
yeah.
I mean, if you got something that you like, I guess.
He may be out there watching. We love you, Walsh. We miss you.
Yeah.
Not me.
And I'm the same way to a point, I guess. I want to buy a brand new truck and a lift kit for it before I ever get it.
Yeah. Misfit says, that makes sense. I got to train more with my LPVO to make sure it doesn't snag. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we talked about this earlier, Misfit, that training really, really helps. Not just gets you better, but you see what faults do I have on my gear and how do I fix that? I shared this before. I can't remember if it was a live chat or a video that I did once, but my first deployment ever, when I knew I was going to be going outside the wire, I had no idea what I was doing. And there was this staff sergeant that was in there with me, and he could tell that I was just like, what pouches did I put on this thing? Like, how did I set this up? And he came over and he's like, there's 2 things that you want on your vest. You want things to make holes and you want things to plug holes. And so that's how I set it up. I had mags on one side and I had my first aid kit on the other.
Yep. And we consider a radio thing to make holes.
Yeah, that's true. I had a radio too. I had it up here on my chest though.
Did you? I had mine
Yeah.
on my back. I was that guy. I'm like, hey, switch my channel because I wanted
was
my
me.
med kit closer.
No,
Yeah,
I had
Yeah.
one, so the
there's
antenna
only so
ran
much
up
room.
like right by my face. I probably have a brain tumor now,
Probably.
but that was easy for me. And then I did have, eventually I added a little admin pouch so I could have Post-its and a pin.
We
I-
had those.
Mine's
Joe
still
and I
around
had
here
those,
somewhere set up.
The Silinks, right? Is
Mhm.
that the name of it?
Yep, Silinks, and I put it right here in the center of my chest.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I'm left-handed, so mine was on my right side. It had all your controls. You could even put a second radio in it for like inter-team comms or something like that. I
Mhm.
thought that was a really nice setup. And then the earpiece would heighten the sound, and then obviously at a certain decibel would shut it off. Those things were slick. And that was back
Yeah, they
in
were.
2011, 2012. So I'm sure
Yeah,
they've
now you can
advanced quite
get
a bit.
$40 ear pro on Amazon
Right.
that does the same thing.
So
It's
Misfit
crazy.
says, talking about lights, is mod light worth the cost over a stream light? I see Reddit going crazy about them, but for home defense and LARPing, it doesn't seem needed. You know, we talked about this. Our last mod light is I want to say they make like $400 flashlight. Correct me if I'm wrong, Misfit, but it's like stupid expensive flashlights. We talked about that when Cody showed his little stream light, his little AAA battery, or no, it's rechargeable battery stream
Rechargeable.
light.
Yeah.
Personally, I would say no, but hey man, it's your money. I'm not going to tell you. I just know that's kind of our position on things. I think if you were to ask us, we think, look, you work hard for your money, and if we can incur some costs and do review and let you know what's good and what's not, so you don't have to,
Mhm.
then that's a win in our books. I personally say Mod Light, no, but a lot of us are Olight fans. I mean, I have some Streamlights too and some Surefires. I think we were issued Surefires before we deployed. Is that what you guys got? That's what I got,
Yeah.
like a 6P.
I still have it. It's still a
Yeah.
great flashlight. I love it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't pay
If
what
you could find
the
those-
government paid for it.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So Misfit says $300 to $400 easy. Personally, man, I think that's too much for a flashlight. I think anything over maybe 150 is too much for a flashlight. I think you get some really good flashlights that have the lumens that you want or candela, however they're going to be measuring it, have the features that you want. I bet you could find it for under 150. Easy.
Yeah. I've never used them personally, and I'm just going to flat out say it. I probably never will. Because when it comes to flashlights, because of the value that you get for Olight, and I'm not pitching Olight. If you hate Olight, I'm proud of you. Great. Go buy whatever you like. I like Olight. So I look at an Olight, and the other flashlight has to beat it. It has to beat it in what it does and cost. And I haven't found one yet. So I just keep buying stupid Olights.
So Misfit says, I agree. I've been rocking Olight or Streamlight and been happy with it.
That's where we're at. Yeah.
I'm not going to go buy something for $400 when I can buy the same thing for $80 and then use that $320 for something else.
Yep. He says Surefire is the other light everyone loves. Just seems like a bit of overkill. And I agree. There was this video that came out a while ago, and it was a guy who had a holster for his gun, and his gun had a suppressor on it. And so, I went crazy trying to figure out what holster can a guy get that lets him holster a gun with a suppressor on it. And it was a Surefire holster, but it was a Surefire holster that required a very specific light. And so it was like, man, it was like $500 for this weapon light, and then another like $200 or $300 for the holster. You're talking about more money than what I spent, including the tax stamp on my suppressor. I'd have to put into a weapon light and a holster.
Yeah.
No way. Harry says $400 for a light is nonsense. And I tend to agree. I mean, I cannot think of a reason to spend that much.
I'll say this: if you're putting your life on the line in a flashlight, and you think that that's the flashlight that $400 is cheap, when it comes to putting my life in the hands of a flashlight, and you want to spend $400, go and do it. That's the thing is we're average Joes I don't see
Literally.
the need to spend $400. If you have a need to spend $400 on a flashlight, go and buy it and use it, and hopefully it saves your life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Depends
some people would
money.
say, for me, like I didn't trust my duty gun, so I talked to my wife. I went out and spent $500 on a gun just because I did not trust my duty gun or the ammo that it had. And I've never looked back. I don't care. People can call me stupid. They can call me silly. They can call me whatever. But $600-700 for a gun and ammo and whatever I'm going to buy for it is cheap in my book when it comes to my life. So if you're going to use that for self-defense and that's what you want to put your trust in, then spend the money on it. I've shot an Olight with a freaking shotgun, both lead shot and steel shot, and it still turns on. I have it upstairs. It still works.
Harry says, just because it's 400 doesn't mean it will not malfunction. That's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very true.
And it'll hurt more when it malfunctions. That's the problem. Like this Olight here is pretty expensive for me, but it's not $400. And if I break it, I'm like, oh well.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: whoever was asking about that flashlight, was it rechargeable? I'm just curious.
It was Misfit. Misfit was asking if it was about Mod Light. And I don't know. I don't know if Mod Light makes a rechargeable flashlight. I just don't follow them enough.
Check this Olight out. So this is a tail cap, pressure switch, and it just pops right off, right? But this is also where this recharges. So it's got the little magnet recharger pops on there. It's got a little indicator light that'll let you know when it's charged. I mean, simple as that. It's locked on there. That's pretty slick to me.
Misfit says, very true. Mission drives everything. I agree with that. I think that's a good.
I think that's the TLD motto. We need to put that on a shirt.
Yeah, mission drives everything.
Yeah.
Very true. What's that? Oh, is that the one you shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's it. So if you guys didn't see the video, I put this on a rail, put it in a vise, and beat it with a hammer, and it ended up loosening up the screws or whatever that go into the actual body of the flashlight. So now I have it sorry for the light. I have it JB welded on. And there's deep puncture wounds from the steel shot. The lead shot really didn't do anything to it, but the steel shot, I just got lucky. The battery still comes out of this. But I did get lucky on where the steel shot BB actually hit.
Yeah, I'm sure if you hit it in the lens and all that,
or even in the body, the battery might not have come out of it, but it hit it in the cap. In the top of the cap where you recharge it, it hit it all through where the lens is. Look how deep those are.
Yeah, so I put a link to that YouTube video in the chat.
But the battery still comes in and out.
Can you still recharge it?
Yes. So you can charge it. The O-ring on the back, because they are wired or tight, the O-ring, this is a little hard to get on and off.
Harry just asked, does it work? Yes, it does, Harry.
So the O-ring back here where the button slides in and out of,
I see that. Yep.
The O-ring coming out on the right here. The O-ring coming out a little bit, so it might not be watertight anymore. But yeah, it still turns on and off. The button a little sticky, just a little bit. Yeah. I don't think I would trust my life with this, but it still works. I still use it, and I'm probably going to mount it on a gun eventually. That's why I JB welded it.
I mean, that's a cool story at the range, right? They're like, what happened to your flashlight? Well, let me tell you.
I should duct tape it to the gun just to add to it. I shouldn't have fixed it. I shouldn't have fixed the mount, just duct taped it.
But because of that video, Joe is now infamous with any brand manager or any company when they reach out to us, we're like, all right, but we're going to send this to Joe, and this is what he does with the products. And
yep.
So,
Misfit says that's impressive. Yeah, so talking about that, we're coming up close to an hour. So there's a scope that I'm doing a review on that should be released on Sunday, and then after that, that scope is going to Joe with it's a Blackhound scope. So Blackhound knows Joe is getting this scope. It's going to be a head-to-head competition from that scope to his Athlon, and whichever one doesn't meet his criteria is going to get shot. And Blackhound was very clear that they were extremely comfortable that it was not going to be their scope that gets shot.
Yeah.
So,
Which is going to be hard because I like my Athlon. It's not the clearest glass, but it's a 34 power for $350. I mean, how can you beat that? So Blackhound has some big shoes to fill, and if they do, then I'll shoot it.
It's not a 35 power though. It's only a 6-24.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
But the confidence they had in it was impressive, and that's what kind of sold me on, on them as a company.
Right.
Yeah. And that was right here on the live chat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and watch that video on the flashlight. It's pretty impressive what it dealt with. I mean, I started off by opening the box by running it over with my truck. So
I love how you started that too, because you're like,
everyone.
If you want to learn like the stats of this flashlight, this isn't the video for you.
Yeah, so watch Jason or Walsh's video. And I just did silly things with it just to see if it would hold up to it. And after that, like if anybody has seen any of my videos, like my Table Talk one, you see the exact flashlight in a different color on my 9mm, which is my home defense, which I do trust my life with. Yeah. And that's because I didn't before I did this. It was an honest, I was really trying to break it. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think it would survive. Yeah. But it did.
After he shot it with the lead shot, we were like, hey man, just try some steel shot on it. Who cares if it just doesn't work anymore? And sure enough, man, it does. Holy cow. I actually have, I'm a Joe. I have the exact same flashlight on my 9mm home defense weapon.
Yep. And Cody was just showing you his. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not like we got them. We paid for them.
I bought that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It was, but hey, if you can find a flashlight that does, everything that you want it to do, go for it.
But I bought that flashlight because of Joe's video. Just to make that clear. When he shot holes in it, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yep. I could do that.
Because I'm like Joe, I don't need a weapon mounted light. Like I have flashlights in my pocket. But when he did that, I'm like, I need that flash. I need that one.
Yeah, that would be cool. And here's the thing for anybody that's still with us after an hour. Just because we don't like a product, or even if we do like a product or whatever, we always try to get our viewers discounts. That's our thing, is when we talk to company and they're like, well, how can we work something out? Well, you give our viewer a discount. That's step one. Even if we don't personally like it, because we don't like it doesn't mean a crap. Now, if it's dangerous, like we don't believe people should have it, we'll just come out and say that. We probably won't advertise that we have a discount for it. I don't want to put anybody's life in jeopardy over it. But even if it's not our thing, we still get discounts for it. Like,
yep.
I'm sure there are things that Walsh reviewed that he likes and I don't like, and we have a discount for it because other people may like it. So Olight, we have a discount. Go to our website.
Yep. I put it in the comments. It's TLDCO, so it's in the comment section.
And they have flash sales all the time. And Walsh is pretty good about putting something out there on Instagram or maybe a little quick YouTube video, but he's in contact with them constantly, and they give him a little heads up on if they're going to have a flash sale or whatever. So
yeah. I will say, if you can wait, don't use our code. Just wait for the flash sale.
Well, the code doesn't work on the flash sale. It works on non-sale items.
Right.
So who knows when the Odin or the Odin Mini is going to go on sale again? Like if you need a weapon light, I would highly recommend the Odin Mini. But if you can wait a year, I bet you within the next year you can. That flashlight's going to be on sale for like 30% off.
Yeah. Or when they do their flash sales, they only do like 1 or 2 lights or whatever in their flash sales, if not everything that they produce.
Yeah. Harry says, you guys definitely provide a lot of knowledge, which helps people trying to make the best purchase, which is what we're trying to do, man.
Thanks, Harry.
We appreciate you, Harry.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We do it for you guys. So, sometimes we we do reviews because we think the item is popular and it's going to get views. Other times it's we really believe in the company and we know we can get a good discount for you guys. So we're going to push that.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. You know, we like one of the big things is we also like helping the little guys, right? Because we're little guys. We're a small YouTube channel, or you know, we have a small social media footprint, but we also, you know, want to help people out. So you can always go to talk to Chuck at 1441 Gear. He's the one. He supplied us with a couple of EDC holsters, and I think all of us, you know, went out and bought a second holster from him. And we love his customer service. We love him as a friend. He's been really good to TLD. And he introduced us to Dragon mounts. Well, that got blasted out, didn't it? But Dragon mounts, you can see it.
Ish.
You know, I try to talk about these. Steve is the guy we got in contact with. He met Chuck at a gun show, and he's like, "Hey, I just want to kind of get my product out there." And Chuck was like, "Hey, I know some guys that like to BS on the internet. Let me pass your information along." And so he sent us out a couple of mounts, and you know, I love them to death. I'm waiting. I'm trying to make a video, but I'm waiting to have the right opportunity to do that. But you'll see. You know, I've had it on here a couple times, but Steve out at Dragon Mounts is super awesome. He always has a law enforcement and a military discount, but he also mentioned that if you contact him, send him an email and say, "Hey, TLD sent me," he will hook you up with a discount as well.
And don't get it twisted. They aren't ad reads. We're not getting paid by the companies to do that. We've used their stuff. We like it, and we like them as a company. So we're gonna pitch it. I mean, anybody that you order through, that you go to our website and look on daily deals. There's a list of everybody that we have deal with. LA Police Gear, Brownells. What else, guy? Primary Arms are a couple. The big one, and then there are a bunch of small companies.
Olight.
Yep. If you order through them in the comments, just tell them TLD sent me. It helps us out. And then it's like, well, they're actually you know doing stuff for our company.
Yeah. But we also want to help out, you know, Thin Line family, right? So that's a big thing. When I, you know, just chit chatting with Steve, at first to me he was just a person who made 3D weapons mounts, which was cool. And then, you know, talking to him, getting to know him like we do with a lot of our other friends that we work with, found out he's a brother from the thin blue line and green line. He was in the Army for 6 years, and he's been in the law enforcement for 22 years. So that's another thing we want to do as a channel is to reach out and help our thin line defense family.
Yeah, well said, Cody. And that's what there's like 9 different color and lines. That's anybody that serves their community. That's who we're trying to help out. So I don't care if you're a nurse or you know you put on a badge every day. I don't care. You're helping out the community, and we want to help you guys the best way that we can.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Jason, you got anything coming up? I know we mentioned on Discord that we're gonna kind of ramp things back a little bit during the break while the kids are home. And
yep. So we're going to be doing just 1 a week videos, and if we miss a week here and there, we're kind of not going to sweat it. And just I know we all have plans over the summer. There's some traveling that I'm going to be doing. I know everyone I think has. I'm going to be going out to visit Joe here in a few weeks, and got some work stuff and some personal travel. So. Yeah, we're going to dial back our video releasing for a little bit for the summer and see how that goes, and we might continue with that. But I have a Optic video that's going to release on Sunday. That's going to be a Blackhound 6 to 24 power. So you guys will see that Sunday.
awesome.
That's exciting.
Joe's probably taking a little drink break real quick.
Oh.
Hey, Jason, still be in your house, bro.
If they are, they're going to be very unhappy here shortly.
But just so you guys know, if you want to reach out to us, you can always hit us up on Facebook. You can comment on any of our YouTube videos. We check that all the time. We get notifications and we try to answer those as soon as possible. Obviously, you can reach out to us from the website. We got our Gmail on there, or we got Discord now. So, I mean, we're popping on social media, but realize that there's only 4 of us, and sometimes it takes us a little while. I know me, I don't even understand what's going on Discord. I get notifications all the time, and I'm like, what's going on? What just happened?
Yeah, and I forget about it sometimes, so I'm only on there maybe once every week or so, but I'm going to try to be better about getting on Discord. So I like it.
Yeah, but this is why we have this particular channel, aside from Thin Line Defense, where we put our regular videos, because we like interacting with you guys. We have Misfit and Harry and a lot of these guys that come out every week, and we really cherish you guys. I know big YouTube channels, they get big and they say, oh, we love our fans, but man, you guys are the reason why we do this every week. We are having to ramp back because we want to take care of our families and also enjoy some of our time off, but we truly appreciate you guys coming every week, and you're the reason why we keep on doing this.
I mean,
because before
there's no better example on how true that is. Like, how many people watched that live video? Like 7?
Probably not a lot.
7, 8.
There's 6 right now.
6 people viewing this right now. If it wasn't for y'all 6, we wouldn't be doing this. Like, there it is. Like, there's 6
on
of
YouTube.
you.
Nobody's on YouTube searching for a bunch of goons chatting about stuff live. But we appreciate you guys. You guys are hardcore, and we appreciate you, and that's why we do this. We don't care if there's 100, 1,000 people viewing these videos. We do it for you guys, and we love you. And we appreciate it. Yeah. Joe, what else you got?
Sorry, Misfit said, "Family comes first, fellas. Enjoy your summer." Harry, thanks again. Thanks to you. We appreciate you guys being here. As Cody likes calling you guys, the OG.
The OGs, yeah.
Yeah. The only one that's not here is Brownies. That's the one that we typically see, and he's not here today.
We're for Harry and Misfit, we're trying to work out these shirts, but you guys come out every week. I will personally buy you guys a shirt once we get them all straightened out. Look on our website, pick out the one you want, and I'll send it to you. I appreciate you guys.
It's thinner material right now, like this shirt that I like, and
they're a little tight, but if you're sexy like me, it'll look good.
Yeah. So we might be changing the material of the shirt. Yeah. We need to figure that out, and then we'll get some shirts out to y'all.
Yeah.
No, and we're not going away. Don't think that we're going away. It's just we're not going to be cranking out, 2, 3, 4 video a week.
Yeah.
Because this isn't our job. We don't get paid for this. So we still have to do our full-time jobs, family stuff, and find time for this. So we'll still be cranking out some videos. I still have plates that I need to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's what I have coming up. Plates that I need to shoot, and now a scope that I need to shoot. I just don't know which scope I'm going to shoot, and I don't mean shoot with. I mean shoot.
Yeah.
I'll put it out at 100 and see if I can smoke it with the 6mm arc.
Hey, there you go. I bet you could. Yeah. Try to go through the glass.
Right.
Yeah.
According to Mythbusters, you can't do it.
Baloney.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate everything that you guys do. Any last minute words before we end the broadcast?
No. We'll see y'all next week.
Appreciate it.
All right.
We're out.